everybody.
Get this
Welcome.
marker.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Oh wait, I should probably do this first. And 1, 2, 3. God damn, we all clap. Do you want to? Here, well, I'll do it together. Ready, Steven? 1, 2, 3.
That was pretty.
We're cooperating.
Fuck off.
Sorry, I was adjusting my mic to make sure the audio quality was good, but if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
No, adjust on camera so that everyone gets to hear all that nice crackling.
Yes.
Well, welcome back, guys. We haven't podcasted in 4 years.
I was gonna say I don't even remember.
We used to.
Oh, I can see myself over on that TV. Why?
Yeah.
That is weird.
We used to do a lot of
Jay,
things.
you might want to
Ryan.
scoot over a little bit.
Scoot. Oh.
This way.
It's aimed too much towards me. Scoot,
Yeah.
I
So
like
we're
how
pretty
much-
much just gonna call this the Rhinovision podcast #1 again.
Cool.
I think that's where we're gonna go with this.
The last
Number one
That's under
season.
the assumption that there will be a number 2.
That is, yeah.
The second annual.
I had Chipotle today, so there will definitely be a number 2. So we need to hurry this the fuck up.
You got 2 hours, buddy.
Speaking of, more Chipotle.
Just right now.
Yeah.
Get a DoorDash in the middle. Guy come in.
All right, thanks for joining us.
No,
Grab him a mic. Grab him a mic.
Special guest star, this guy.
What up, dude?
Hey, bro.
So we didn't know how many people to put in a podcast, so we just decided all of us.
All of
so
them.
why the fuck not?
We found people, and
So-
we sat them down.
yeah,
Technically, I have a gun to Nate's hip right now. Make sure he sits here.
Right.
it
Oh.
tickles.
All right.
Lane, you know how you asked me before if I had a beverage?
Yeah.
I didn't get a beverage.
I know, I told you.
I was too
reminded
busy
you.
setting everything up.
Hey, don't feel so bad. Nate didn't either. He's got his bong, but...
You need a beverage, Nate. You need
It's
a
good to
beverage
finally have a visual representation of your bong.
Yeah, does
considering
that have a
you watch
good-
the Minecraft episodes? It's like, are they taking like actual bong rips or what?
It really does sound
Just water.
wow, that's great.
Gotta stay
Straight
hydrated out
fucking
there.
water.
So there's a lot of stuff that I know we want to talk about. I've been trying to find the.
Before we do you think we should introduce ourselves?
Oh,
or
that's
just
a
let that
really
simmer?
good idea, Nate.
No,
Thank
keep
you
talking.
so much.
Keep talking.
So no, yeah, let's go down the line and we can introduce ourselves.
Fuck you. I'm Matt.
I'm Nate.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Lane.
Steven?
Jay.
I'm Matt.
I'm Nate.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Lane.
Ben?
George.
That's Atlas down there.
Who?
Eventually, he'll roll over so you can see his dog.
I'm
behind
sure.
us that we talk about. So
There's a dog in here.
this is also the tub at my feet. This is the tub.
The
The
tub.
tub.
Not a tub. The
Rub a
tub.
dub dub tub.
The tub.
What are we doing here?
Sorry, I was getting my foot on this.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean, we were just gonna kind of just start talking about some stuff.
Okay.
And one thing that I wanted to bring up right away, and I know you guys are gonna hate me for this.
Oh, good.
We finally got a plot synopsis of
Synopsis.
of Death Stranding,
Nest
and I wanted to bring
topic.
that up to you, and I wanted to try to start an actual conversation, which probably won't go anywhere.
Cool.
What
I
console is
know
that gonna be
nothing about this,
It's
so.
gonna be PlayStation. Yes.
Good. That's my favorite
Console.
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 Yes.
Console.
You guys are my council.
As fuck.
No,
You guys are my council.
The Council of Dorks.
So I was just gonna read it off to you guys, and we can go from there. So.
Next topic.
So, Sam Bridges, Norman Reedus, must brave a world utterly
Daryl?
transformed by the Death Stranding. Carrying the stranded remnants of the future in his hands, Sam embarks on a journey to unite the shattered world one step at a time. What is the mystery of Death Stranding? What will Sam discover on the road ahead? Basically, what it comes to is it is a walking simulator.
Oh, good.
You walk from one point of America to the other, trying to connect. I guess you could say what the Death Stranding is the other world.
You know, I was really worried that the synopsis wouldn't clear things up at all. I'm so happy I'm just as confused as when we started.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be confused the moment those credits roll after you beat the game. Going, the fuck did you make, Kojima?
Well, yeah. Think back to the first few Silent Hills. I mean, even at this point in Silent Hills Legacy, you're really not entirely sure what's going on.
Right.
I mean, at the end of each
Fair
one, you're
point.
like, well, I did a thing, and now it's over. So
And I think
perfect.
I know what happened, but I'm not sure.
I'm not
got some
entirely
achievements.
positive.
I need
Well,
like
right,
a
that's
YouTube
exactly
series
it.
explaining exactly what I just went through.
Well, that's how you play Dark Souls.
Well, it's
You just like try to figure out what's going on, then you watch a
surprised by
different
that
YouTuber
shit.
describe everything.
Yep.
And then when you know it all, you gloat how you know all the information about the game.
But then somebody still knows more.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Always.
And that's always the fun part because then you get to read all the like fan theories and shit.
Honestly, that's my
online
favorite part about video games.
Well, right, yeah, especially when they're confusing like that.
Mhm.
That's always the best. It wasn't until like most of the way through Silent Hill 2 when you're like, oh, this is hell. Superb. This is hell. And you start meeting all the other people and finding out that they've all done bad enough shit to the point where they brought themselves to this place. And then like way on down the line, even once you get to Homecoming pretty much just solidifies it.
That's my shoulder.
That is your shoulder. Yeah.
This is also your shoulder.
My God, how many shoulders does this man have?
He's got at least
I think
14.
I definitely think it's been one of my favorite parts about Death Stranding is the whole confusion behind it, and just seeing how that opens up to more questions. Just like when Kojima made PT, and you just got to ask all these questions about what is the new game going to be about. And I don't think it'll ever hold up to what everybody wants it to be, but you never know.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I don't mind not knowing as much. For a video game, it's a little bit difficult because you're investing a lot more money than a movie. You're investing a lot more money than a book. And if the payoff isn't there, then you feel like you wasted your time. You know, how many video games, despite being super popular, ended in terrible endings like Mass Effect, and it just pissed everybody off.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You were the one person.
I was cool.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, it's. I
Let's
think
bring
back
up one
to,
that we
like-
all know of, Anthem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I wanted to like it. I really wanted
It was.
to like
It could have been a lot of fun,
Yeah.
but it just had no replayability.
You got to fly around as an Iron Man type
It
character.
sounded
was,
so cool.
Like, the gameplay was fun for like a couple hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That was it.
What they needed to do is add more javelins. I think that would have added a whole lot to it.
Well, they already had. They had 4.
Yeah,
Each
well,
one of them
I mean-
had a very unique ability, and then it's just that was it.
I don't know. I think adding like a different way of collecting javelins would have also been
That
Instead
would've
of a
been
level
interesting.
system, like you had to find the pieces.
yeah.
Kind of like
I mean,
stealing from Warframe.
yeah. I realize I'm going to be very heavily
Well, no,
influenced by
but
Warframe
by no
in that.
means, it's
So.
still not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And that's what gives Warframe its replayability.
Mhm.
It's the fact that you always have to go on and do more.
Right.
Well,
You got
like-
42 frames. You got to collect all the pieces too, and then you combine that. Yeah.
Well, like Warframe, first off, that is your replayability, is trying to find these bits and pieces to then build this
Oh,
new
yeah.
frame.
Have
But
you-
the other great thing about it was, how much was it?
Yeah. The game is free.
free.
Game, yeah.
The only
One of the
thing you
first
want to
games I
pay.
got for PlayStation 4.
Gratis.
The only thing you want to have to pay for Warframe is if you want to speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. But other than that, no, the game was completely free.
But at the same time, have you like played the story at all? Do you know anything about the plot of that world?
Yes, because I've watched things.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
but
You have
the
to go
funny-
searching to
seen
find
things.
what the
but
plot of that is.
The other funny thing though is like before you hopped on, I had no fucking clue what was going on.
Yeah.
And then we actually went through the story. It's like, no, go on. What do you mean I have to wait and do
No, I'm
these
actually-
all this stupid
which they
bullshit?
I know that nobody else is going to care about this, but they have a new DLC that I think is hinting at adult
Yep.
operators now.
Yep, I saw that.
That sounds
Children?
awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's all about
I've never
psychic
played.
void children
Fucking
controlling
spoiler
robots.
alert, you bit.
It is a big spoiler,
Cut
actually.
it! Cut it!
That was like out
We're
like
outta here!
2-3 years
I don't
ago
know.
that your operator's a kid
Yeah, your operator is a void child operating
or girl.
a robot.
The man child.
Genderless.
You're a man child.
But yeah, I saw like a few comments like people were like pissed off about it
Really?
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Why?
because they just like I think if I recall it's like didn't feel like Warframe. It doesn't look like Warframe, especially when the trailer they showed they play Western music.
Okay, that really doesn't feel like Warframe.
Well,
It
it's funny
doesn't.
because that actually like fits pretty nicely into one of the topics I wanted to bring up, and
Oh.
you know, something to continue on with that is just utilizing DLC, especially for these like free games, to extend the replayability and longevity of these games indefinitely. I mean, look at GTA 5. How long has it been going and just constantly updating?
6 years now, I
Something
think?
like that. Yeah, that's impressive.
All free.
And in truth, there is no need for another game
No.
aside from another new storyline,
Yep.
which is about it. At that point, you can make that game smaller and just keep working on GTA 5's online thing. Make the GTA 6 $40 instead, and just have it be all storyline. They're gonna keep adding shit to 5 because 5 is already a perfectly designed situation. If it wasn't for the fact that it was probably gonna jump engines and jump platforms and consoles.
I don't know
Yeah,
about. I don't know
two
about
games
the
a system.
the idea behind like utilizing DLC. Yes, in that situation, perfect formula. What I don't want to see is more companies purposefully withholding important storyline things to throw in as DLC. I know a lot of people complain about that online, and I agree. If you're creating a story and then basically leave this cliffhanger for a quick 2-hour DLC,
Oh,
Yeah, good
I
point.
get what
I
you
think
mean.
that's-
I get what you mean.
How about you, Lane? Like, imagine if going forward in Red Dead
Redemption.
2,
I've read
that,
that.
literally in like a year
John
they would
Madden.
release like a whole another chunk of the wilderness with a whole new storyline to it for another $40.
More of New Mexico.
That'd be decent. I mean,
Yeah, or even another state. Like you just jump on a train and go to another state.
yeah. Well, Red Dead takes part of many states, but they basically shrink it down to a different size. But yeah, if they would open up New Mexico and that territory, that'd be tight.
Yeah, just add it like a whole bunch more storylines to that. I mean, I've played plenty of DLCs which just go on forever. I mean, look at the Skyrim DLCs or anything Bethesda-based.
Yeah.
Those DLCs are just monstrous.
Oh, yeah.
Nuka
Well-
World for Fallout 4 is
Nuka
monstrous.
World.
Morrowind in ESO is huge.
Yeah.
God, ESO, they fucking those
Yeah,
updates
they have
throw
saved
out are
themselves. If only
insane.
they could learn from that particular element
I
and do the
wish I
same
would've
thing with
gotten more
Fallout
into it.
76. But like at the same time,
Fallout 76.
we do run into DLCs which kind of prove the opposite. Like I just finished the DLC A Walk in the Park for The Surge. I would say if it weren't for the fact that I was taking my time, it would have taken me 3.5, 4 hours.
I think
Which I bought it at $10. Originally it was 15.
That's all the surge was.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The DLC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think my least favorite
It's on that
situation like that was the Spider-Man game. Fantastic game. I was okay with DLC until the second DLC, I think it was. They basically just straight up said, to be continued, buy another $20 DLC.
Oh, $4, but
Like, okay, yeah.
I do get what you mean though, because like they have that opening. So I mean, it all comes down to buying that season pass, you know, which obviously it's cheaper to do it, but it is kind of shoddy. I will say this though, if you've played them, that Spider-Man DLC is fucking great.
I played the first one and most of the second one.
Yeah, I haven't beaten the third one yet, but I'm loving it. That world, like, there was just so much to do, and I loved the storyline of that Spider-Man. I wish that was our MCU Spider-Man moving forward, honestly. And I love Tom Holland, but that's besides the point. We won't talk about that yet.
But like, just out of curiosity, Nate, like, what do you think about like if like Bloodborne had done the same thing?
If they had like a
how
continued
was
story.
the new, like the old Hunters DLC, and could you see like them just saying we're just gonna keep doing this and not do like a Bloodborne 2 or something like that?
I think
That's tough, actually, because like the story they gave was highly enjoyable. The DLC is difficult as fuck. The fucking Orphan of Kos, that piece. Anyway,
Tell us how you really feel.
moving on from that.
Earmuffs, kids.
Why are you listening to this, kids? But
Why are you kids?
grow up.
Jesus, get a job.
But I don't think I could see Bloodborne
Like
doing
us,
that.
you
Like
know,
I
you
think
do.
they would have to release like a new game entirely.
So you think it kind of depends on like
It depends on the franchise, what they've
right,
done with it. Like
storyline and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it really depends. Is the game itself, like, is the big selling point the story? If so, I think, yeah, it'd probably be better to release a second game. Or if you're building DLC, is it more to do within the world you've already created?
kind of
Which
like what they
is-
did with Destiny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where the DLCs were supposed to be more storyline when they were just a letdown of storyline. Like it was too short of an amount
Wait,
of
which
time
Destiny?
for
One or two.
a little bit of both.
Okay.
And they kind of did the
Haven't
same
played
thing
any
with
of
both
two.
of them, didn't they?
I would say that the Siva,
Siva DLC was shit.
yeah, exactly.
Not in a good way.
Like they introduced this whole new situation, and it like boiled down to this small amount of actual gameplay and storyline to be added in there. When
Well, Taken King was so good.
exactly.
It really was. You had this terrifying threat that just took over people. You had a new race to fight. You had a brand new fucking location to go to. And then the best part about that DLC is you then had a third power up
Yep.
for every
Oh, yeah, that's
class.
right. Yep.
And then you get to the Dreadnought, you fight Oryx, and then like the raid itself was fucking difficult. And then you give us this bullshit DLC of the Lords of Iron. It was not the same at all. It was just like, we're giving this because we need time before Destiny 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And now we're getting Isengard for Destiny 2. I mean, Shadowkeeper or whatever it is.
Did you have something to say on that?
No, I just like agreeing with them. Yeah,
You
it's
just-
like,
about that.
about
and then you
that.
paused.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, real quick,
It's-
rewinding a bit for... Oh, sorry, you had a comment, then I'll go on mine. Go ahead.
This is the
Oh, it's just like
politest we've ever
it's
been.
all of a sudden, hey, here's our new thing. You got to have this to advance and be, top tier with everybody else.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
it's like, hey, you're at,
No, that's just looking at
275
Steve's
and everyone else is at 300 something. Good luck.
That's
Yeah,
another
the light
thing that
level.
always bothered me is like raising a level cap so you can
Yeah.
You have to pay
playing
in order to
catch-up
be
was pretty annoying.
top.
The grind
yes.
in Destiny was like my least favorite part about it.
I mean, I enjoyed it because that was the gameplay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I never played it for the storyline because I knew the storyline was going to be pseudo lackluster and have
Except
bits
that
and pieces
opening
missing.
scene in Destiny 2, like that whole opening mission, I thought was one of the best openings of a video game I've played. It was
Mass
so
Effect 2.
fun.
Mass Effect 2 had, in my opinion, one of the best openings.
Why am I spacing on what the opening was?
The Normandy blows up
Oh,
with the
that's
collectors
right.
and Shepard dies. No fucking spoilers.
It's an
What
old
the
game.
fuck?
Dude!
Do you not play video games?
Who the fuck you think you're talking to?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So, real quick, going back on a topic of games that release DLC out of nowhere, let's rewind a couple months and look at Borderlands 2. They released a brand new DLC with Lilith.
Isn't that
Yep.
insane?
And like it was just fucking baffling. To,
Well,
like,
it was
out
all
of fucking nowhere. A game that came out for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, updated, blah blah blah. Let's release DLC.
The reasoning was
It came
because
out in 2012.
yeah,
Was when Borderlands 2 came out.
yeah. The reasoning behind that was because the third game is coming out next month.
Yeah,
So they want, and they didn't
But they
have
did-
like everything told that they needed told. So they needed real quick. We got to throw in this DLC to explain.
yeah. It's just
why
I do
certain
know
things
it's
are gonna
basically
happen.
a story gap between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I do know that. It's
And
just
that's
but,
exactly what you guys were talking about. The fact that a main game is so incomplete that you feel like you specifically left it so that DLC has to be released in order to fill in the gaps in the storyline.
Yes, that is a shitty situation, but Gearbox did a good job with it by making that free
Yes.
for the longest time. They
Yeah.
released the DLC as free, so it's like, yes, we realize that we're making you get a DLC in order to continue the story. So we're gonna kind of give you some leeway and let you just
like the funny
have
thing
it.
about that is like a small feeling of like, okay guys, we have Borderlands 3 taken care of and done. But one thing we did not consider is how the fuck do we connect these two?
Right.
What
Oh,
do we
yeah.
do, guys?
Well,
What about
I
the
don't
Telltale game? No, we can't go there. Oh no.
The fun thing is you don't
DLC,
have,
DLC. Yeah, we'll do that. Go to board.
You really don't have
this
to.
guy?
In truth, like just look at the Fallout games. None of them have ever been connected.
No.
No.
I mean, it doesn't
But
mean
it's
the
still
Borderlands
same
have to
world
be.
Of, hey, this is happening here, and this is happening.
Well, yeah, but they're all
Boston.
different
I,
parts of
I
the
do
world.
like sometimes when they have like little call outs to the previous one.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's too different of a comparison to make, though, because from my understanding, Fallout is meant to be disconnected, whereas Borderlands has been following one consistent storyline.
yeah.
It has been, but I'm just saying, doesn't necessarily need to be, which is the big thing.
No.
And if they're gonna get in their own way and step on their own toes trying to connect it, then why bother? But the same could be said for, like, in the opposite direction as well. I mean, they want this to be a progressive storyline, and it's done so well as a progressive storyline. Why not just leave it to do it?
Well, I also don't know how the third's going to open, so I don't know if this DLC was necessary.
Right.
That's just what I assumed based
Yeah,
on
as soon
what
as
I've
I
heard.
knew that Lilith was supposed to be a part of it, Maya's supposed to be a part of it, to the point where they are bringing the old stuff in, that means it is
Teach me.
part of a legitimate trilogy
Mhm.
at that particular junction until we find out more, but which is fine. It's just moreover, I don't want that to be a forced
Trade it.
situation. I mean, in 2 it worked out so nicely because Jack was such a good villain.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the whole situation.
Butt stallion.
Great. Butt stallion.
But I mean,
Fucking
was he a
Butt
bad guy? I mean, he had
Yes.
his drive.
Technically,
He was a bad guy.
Is anybody really a bad guy?
Well, like that goes
You're
on
a
like the
bad
whole
guy.
like
You're
you're,
not a
like
bad
when
guy.
you mentioned like the whole concept of a bad guy, like he himself sees himself as a good guy.
Yes.
Exactly.
He just to everyone else comes off as a bad
He
guy.
never
the point
considered
of the
himself-
pre-sequel was to show that, was he a bad guy?
Well, that's
He-
good.
Or
That's
he was
good
just a
villains,
good
too.
guy who did a really bad thing.
He never considered himself a bad guy, but he did enslave his daughter and inject her full of chemicals.
Well,
That's not that bad.
That's
who's
to
to say you
accomplish-
won't do the same thing?
The governor did
I'm
that
not
in
saying I
fucking
won't,
Walking Dead. He
but
was
I
a
am
good
saying
guy.
that makes me a bad guy if I do it.
Did I say I'm a bad
Yeah.
guy because I might have laid eggs inside Nate?
Yes.
That'd be weird.
Yes.
Good thing I didn't do that.
We're gonna be on this side. You be on that side.
What were we talking about?
We're having two different conversations.
Yeah.
Welcome to this side of the table.
No
We're
idea.
having a Walking Dead conversation now.
Oh, we can.
Apologies.
Crop in on
You should zoom in. The governor was a good guy. Okay, sorry.
Camera 1, camera 2.
I think that's all the further I got in Walking Dead was up to the governor.
That was my favorite season, honestly. But we don't need to go into a Walking Dead podcast.
Yeah, why not?
There's like already 3 of them out
You
there.
said talk about whatever.
Hi, welcome to the Talking Dead.
Talking Dead.
Chris Hardwick.
That's
Name
you
of
never
a-
heard of
That's
that?
the name of a
Oh,
podcast
yeah,
for
that's-
Walking Dead.
Yeah, they
With
have
Chris
it
Hardwick.
after. They used to have it after. Do they still have it?
Yes.
Yeah, after the show.
It's Chris
they
fucking
would do
Hardwick.
it.
He probably does.
Chris Hardwick, that motherfucker.
So other like real quick, other DLC that kind of had like random story bits was Mass Effect 3. If you got the, I think it was the Awoken DLC, you got a Promethean. And the reason that's so huge is in the Mass Effect lore, they're a race that died off 5,000, I think it's 50,000
fuck,
years
yeah.
ago. So then having that character be introduced, how like that whole thing introducing a whole new element to the story is just mind blowing.
I loved that DLC. It was so much fun.
Like that's just like a whole new story element. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go through this whole thing without this character, and then you go through. It's like he adds so many unique things. Like, oh yeah, the Reapers did this, and you're like, did they now?
Go ahead. Go
Why
on.
haven't we thought of that?
What was the? I'm looking it up really quick because I'm just curious. That other DLC in Mass Effect 3 where like you got to have like the party and everything like that. Do you remember what
The
I'm talking
Citadel.
about? The Citadel. God. That made the wrap up of the game so worth it. Like I was talking to you about last week, like with like epilogues and type of stuff. It's like you really, instead of having individual conversations with the characters, you got everybody to just, you got your party to hang out and have a good time, even if it was a brief cutscene. It was just so cool to see.
What do you think, Steven?
Boy.
Oh, guys, he's about to go on a rant.
What do you think
I
about
loved it.
DLC for porn?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Hold on.
Well, yeah, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
they make porn games, don't they?
They do. How's it going, dude?
Exactly. DLC for a porn game.
DLC where you play as Frank?
Oh!
Frankie?
Yeah.
Frankie
Have you
Muniz?
ever seen that game, Steven?
No, I don't think
House
Party?
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Yep. That was great.
Is he lying?
You can never tell with
You can
him.
never tell with Steven. He's got the best poker face because he's always lying.
He's always a giggly bitch.
Traitor.
Look at your ass.
He shows up and he's so fucking doped out. He's like, I don't even know who you guys
I
are.
don't even know where am
I just walked in. You guys
showed
accepted
up,
me.
Why did you Uber here? I can't drive.
Someone said podcast. I thought I was getting fucked in the butt. Where am I?
Porncast.
Well,
I
we
guess
talk about our
moreover,
favorite stars.
my opinion when it comes to DLCs is I would like to see more of what GTA 5 has done.
Yeah.
And you're right. It is very true that if it's a storyline based game, in order to continue on, you have to do another game. Like you can't just make storyline continuations for like the Dark Souls series or like Bloodborne, like we brought up, because those stories come to a legitimate end. Whereas there's other games. I always swing back around to Bethesda games because they've done such a good job with their DLCs, making them so worth the cost and really making the argument for whether or not DLCs should be a thing all the more, like making it a legitimate conversation, because Far Harbor and all that stuff, everything is just so perfect. Like it's just such a huge amount of it, like stuff that gets added in, and it might not be, you know, exactly what everybody's looking for because it has their own freestanding storylines, but I think that can add a huge amount of stuff to it. And even Borderlands, there's some of them in the older ones, like in 2, Hammerlock's Hunt has some good stuff to it. Tiny Tina's one is phenomenal. It's probably one of the better things to come for Borderlands 2, but
I suppose I don't think Borderlands should ever feel like a necessity.
yes.
Or, I mean, sorry, DLC should never be a necessity.
No. It should always just be like,
An
in case
expansion.
you want more.
Yes.
Add-ons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as long as the price point fits what you get out of it, I think that that's fine. And yeah, most of the time it depends on whether or not you're willing to just say, screw it, I love this game and I want to play anything else they come up with for this game and buy the season pass, because any game I've bought a season pass for, I haven't felt bad about it.
Yeah, I agree.
In truth, there's
Destiny.
been so many.
I felt bad about that one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Buying
Well,
Aliens
because, like-
Colonial Marines was a bad idea to begin with.
Yes.
Remember how long I owned that game?
Yeah.
3 hours.
3 hours.
And I returned the fucking
Oh,
thing.
boy.
But I kept the figure. I still got it upstairs, baby.
I was
Oh,
gonna
that
say.
game sucked.
Oh, boy.
That was so
Well,
bad.
then never mind, Nate. It's fine.
I feel like it had something to do with the idea that like Destiny was supposed to only have 2 DLC, but then out of nowhere they came out with the Taken King DLC.
And then they
They
released
haven't
another
done it.
one
They
or
didn't
two
do it
after
once.
beforehand.
They did it twice.
that. Yeah.
They had the 2 DLC for Destiny 2, and then they came out with a third that's a whole new universe with the Forsaken DLC. So yeah, that's the only time I could think of the season pass like being bullshit.
So to kind of go off of like what you're talking about, like with the way they're doing DLC, and you could say games as a service like Destiny and all that. I don't know how much you guys obviously follow up on a lot of news, but Gamescom was this last weekend. Did any of you guys hear about, like, you've watched the trailers for like the Avengers game that's coming out by Square Enix, right?
Nope.
Not seen
Do
that
you have
yet.
any idea about it?
It's
I
Avengers.
knew about it.
So basically, to tie into what we're
figured
talking
it out.
about,
Ace Detective's here.
the Avengers game is going to be, it's going to be a single-player storyline with some multiplayer built in the background, similar to like Destiny, where they have like a war room and you can go out with 4 people and play with them.
Okay.
But what they keep talking about is that it's going to be a single player where they continuously add content after the main story is done. So like the DLC, I don't know. They haven't said if it's free or if you buy a season pass or whatever it is, but they say they're
bet
going
it's
to
a season
continuously play the game instead of it being multiplayer based, like a lot of these games as a service that we have are right now. They're just going to keep releasing content with new heroes and new storylines and everything for the foreseeable future is how they've been talking about it.
So they're planning.
That always sounds good, but we've heard that before.
Yeah.
Plenty
And
of
it's
A
Square
way of
Enix,
looking
so-
at that, though, I know people probably have called it out
Did
as
they
this.
scrap a whole bunch of DLC for
And
Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say for sure this is the case, but it sounds like they're planning to release a game before it has all the content.
And that's definitely, I mean, like, if you watch the trailers, I know a lot of people online are getting, they don't like the character models. They look kind of, this is Crystal Dynamics, too. Like,
That's-
Square Enix is publishing it, so it's the people who made the
So
Tomb
they all
Raider
look
franchise.
like Lara Croft.
That's what I heard, is that they
Not as
they
good.
don't like the designs because it's similar enough to the cinematic universe, but they're also changed it.
They're changed
Period
enough where
tits.
people are like, oh, you should have just kept it with it.
Right.
No, I mean, we also get like an Avengers style like voice acting cast too, like Matthew. Like you got like Troy Baker and Noah North, Laura Bailey.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like you get like these awesome voice actors, but
I mentioned all the ones I know.
well, then whoever plays Captain America, I don't know his name.
Bob.
But it's Bob.
Yep.
But just like with that
Good
topic,
job,
like,
Bob.
I mean, obviously it sounds way too good to be true. Like continuously releasing content, but for an Avengers style game, if you get something like that of just like the MCU in a video game kind of thing,
There's been at least 3 mobile games that have done the exact same thing.
mobile games.
Yeah.
Which ones? I have no.
Just in general, they have all kinds of superhero mobile games. I keep seeing them pop up on Facebook,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
all over the place where they do that.
Yeah.
They're kind of these like,
Shadow Raid Legends.
yeah, stuff like that.
Pay,
Where they
like,
just
payable champions.
Continue
like,
to like
payable
release
champions.
stuff and stuff like that. And yeah, there's differences and they add stuff and you know, it like you said, it's one of those things where I'd like for it to be exactly what they say it is, but I also
Time will tell.
am afraid of just like what Jay said, that they're not going to build the game they want it to be. It's not going to be like the storyline's not going to be on par with Spider-Man.
Right.
So it's just like, well, we're going to promise this web of branching stuff for the future and for just like stuff to do.
And hopefully one of them is going to be what we
smoke screen
wanted.
the fact that the storyline is over here like falling over like a drunk cat. Just
Over promise,
Storyline.
over promise, under deliver.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's exactly like just going back to Anthem again, really quick. They keep coming back and saying like, no, we have a 10-year plan for Anthem, and I'm like, no, you fucking don't.
it's been a year. You've done nothing.
The
Yeah.
creative director just is gone.
Thank you for your money.
Actually, surprisingly, it's only been a couple of months.
Yeah, that was early this year.
February.
I think so, yeah, somewhere around February it
Yep.
came out. It's
They wanted to sell 6 million copies by the end of March. They hit like 2.5. I think is what the number is.
It's proof positive of another thing I've been seeing more and more is the RPG aspect and the customization aspect of gaming becoming such a huge thing. And you see it in everything. Even the smallest shit, from how you decide what skills to upgrade in games like Assassin's Creed or DMC and stuff like that. You know, just the smallest thing. Like I'm playing Sunken City, and you get experience, and you can upgrade like just a few little things. Not a big deal, but it gives you something else to do when there's downtime, or you don't feel like getting your nuts scared off. And then it goes straight to like huge RPG style games like Borderlands, where the level grind and the stuff you unlock is the most important thing, aside from finding like better guns and stuff like that.
it's definitely changed from back in the day when
RPGs
you're Mario,
were
you get
their
to
own thing.
you can
Yeah.
jump and you can run.
Jump and shoot.
Now you
God
have
damn it.
like your own. You can implement your own way of playing the games
Yeah,
now.
and everything is different. I mean, and I think a lot of that stemmed from Blizzard and how well
Okay.
they did on just like the introduction of true MMOs, the ones that have been so successful from League of Legends and WoW.
Yeah,
Just overall, these aspects of this level of customization allows you to really get the most out of it and gives you a reason to keep going, that kind of thing. And I love seeing that going forward in just games, and it's nice to see that so many games have at least some kind of element to that, whether it be even the stupidity of, well, I'm gonna go to the gym in GTA, get stronger, I'm gonna play tennis for
Yeah.
this. And
Casino's open now, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep saying it.
Yeah, and I keep going too. I won 30 grand the other day. It's more than I've won ever.
Mystic?
You guys gonna pick up that WoW Classic that's coming out?
No.
I've never played WoW.
I
We are?
enjoyed. I played Warcraft 3.
Okay.
And that was because I was told it was a lot like Age of Empires in that regards. and it was to a degree.
Isn't Age of Empires an RTS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of RTS mentality in some of the earlier Warcraft games, where it revolved around you picking your one of three sides kind of thing and building bases and going to war, yada yada. And then 3 came out and you played as this like Conan the Barbarian style caveman who's off with his giant wolf companion and stuff like that, and it was really quite fun.
Always fascinated
So,
whenever Steven gets on.
He Google
Don't worry,
searched WoW Classic, and on the side it said WoW Classic Thong, $16.99.
Boy.
This one wasn't even his fault.
No, this was just Google.
Oh, no, it knows.
No, his
knows.
computer knows exactly what he's actually looking for.
What are your Facebook ads like these days?
Let's
I
not go
don't need
there.
I don't need another dildo.
He typed in WoW Classic and he thought his computer thought it said Women of Wakanda Classic. There's just a bunch of like really sexy looking warrior women.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Good job.
It's a wave of nostalgia sweeping over this country, though.
Well, everything's about nostalgia now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, especially even like, I mean, Jay, I think me and you were talking about it with the way that they did DMC 5. You know,
Yeah.
They came out with the reboot of DMC, which I know me and you enjoyed, and a lot of people
Yes.
did. It was a fun game with some of the best gameplay out there.
I loved the combat in it, but a lot of people hated the
Yeah,
combat.
But then they come out with DMC 5, and literally every moment of that game is for the fans. Like, every fan theory you've ever had, every little bit, they're like, yeah, Dante's gonna do this, Nero's gonna do this, like, it just worked, and it was like, this is exactly what I wanted. I screamed at the end when the reveal happened, I went,
Yeah.
yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, it's like, finally, we have confirmation
Yes,
of this.
and I'm sure it's even the game developers just being like, there you go, have fun. you guys deserve this.
Yeah.
We don't, though.
But yeah, a lot of people like the nostalgia, and I'm so happy for that. The fact that Star Wars is becoming a new fandom again. It was like it
Go
back
ahead.
in when it first came out. It had its fan base, and now here we are. What, 40 years later?
Yep.
They released the new movies. Now it's got a new fan base.
Keep it up. Yep. Disney does it well.
Eh.
Eh.
I
They
just
have
like
the money
seeing
to
the
throw at it, so.
continuations of old fan bases.
Well, yeah, I don't like the idea of something just disappearing.
Yeah.
You know, like some of our favorite games, like, I mean, like, Matt, you could even put it to a point of, like, some of your favorite Final Fantasy games. Don't get me wrong, the main story and the amount of time you get to play them, incredible. Wouldn't you love to see more in the world, though?
Not when it comes to Final Fantasy.
Okay, maybe a bad example.
Because the only time they've ever really created continuations of Final Fantasy, I'm not going to touch on 13 because I didn't really get into 13, but they came out with an X2, and it was awful. But that I also blame that a little bit on the whole job leveling system,
Sure.
and like the sortie system for going on missions that kind of ruined it, because it's like if you didn't get the mission done, or didn't do it in on time, or you picked this one over that one, you lost that stuff. And I'm like, I don't want an Armored Core based like mission system for a Final Fantasy game.
Sure.
I mean, this game has 2 characters I love from Final Fantasy X, and I want just to play as them. And you add another one, it's like, fine, cool, perfect. Just let me have my turn-based game. So you start fucking with shit that's already perfect, unless you really have something to back it up, which didn't really happen until 15 for me, which is why I've started 13 about 5 or 6 times. Doesn't take me long to go, fuck you, and just throw the game away.
I've beaten it like 5 or 6 times. I do like that
It's
one.
garbage.
I'm always so hesitant to see a series continuing after it's had that wrap-up moment.
Run,
Yeah.
Like, if they were to... They actually are doing this, but more Harry Potter. They've finished the Harry Potter story. We're going to still add more. I don't hate the new movies, but I'm always wary when they do stuff like that. It's
Well,
like, is this going to be the one that ruins the series for
upside
us?
And
It
they
seems
went
like a
back again.
prequel.
That's sorry to interrupt, but like
No, you're not.
They went back. Fuck you,
They're
Lifehouse.
back again?
Or just back.
Well, I mean,
Just
like
finding
think
out.
about any film franchise that has like had a great run, or even a game franchise, but mostly film, is like here's the Lord of the Rings, and then we went back to the Hobbit and they sucked. You know,
Smaug was
did the
awesome.
Star
same
Wars,
thing.
yeah.
The original trilogy was great. Then they did the prequels, and I mean, I loved them, but they weren't
They-
that great.
they
Now
didn't-
they're doing it with Harry Potter. Why can't we just keep moving forward? I don't see what the problem is with that.
Well, at the same point, I mean, these prequel movies for Harry Potter have introduced the mentality that there are other schools like this, like in America.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about we just get the Harry Potter franchise of America?
Sure.
Baby.
Whatever. It's fine. I don't care. Pick South Africa. How about all the Australian wizard kids out there down under?
Oh my God, I
I
would
think
watch that.
I think
All
the,
of their wands are boomerangs, and it's just Abracadabra, come back here.
I think the
And
only
then you catch it and then you
confirmed
die.
schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only confirmed schools are America, England, Bulgaria, France, and China.
Well, J.K. Rowling likes to
What about
just
the Russia
skip
guy?
anything. There's no magic.
That was
in Russia.
Bulgaria.
Stone the bloody deathly hollows, the dingoes, ain't my baby.
Really?
Because that's
Crikey.
I mean, not everything has to
Steve.
converge with this, which is
Here
why,
at
like,
Hogwarts.
even with the Star Wars movies, I don't care about continuing the storyline. Like the new trilogy
Yeah.
they're making, I could not be more bored.
Well, they have these rich worlds that, like, that's why I'm excited for the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
It's
you got
nothing-
Mandalorian, Solo story, Rogue
Oh,
One.
Open it
Rogue
up.
One was
fucking
fucking awesome.
Just shoot off.
Yeah.
Let's just get other parts in the world. I don't give a shit about Luke anymore. I'm glad he died at the end of the last one. So I'm like, finally, you're no longer a part of anything.
I haven't seen that.
Why are
yet.
you still here, Leia?
Have you watched any Star Wars?
I saw The Force Awakens.
Did you see Rogue One?
I've seen all the original. Well,
Because that
I've
was
seen
the
both
good
of the original,
I
the
love
older
Rogue
series, and I've seen
What do you mean
Force
both?
Awakens.
Both of the trilogies?
The first trilogy, and then the prequel trilogy, and then The Force Awakens. That's what I've seen for Star Wars.
I've seen The Force Awakens. I hated it so much. And then I saw Rogue One. I was like, okay, this was
I
good.
understand
And then
why
I
people
reviewed The
like
Last
it.
Jedi, and it's like,
It is
oh
not
God.
my series.
I live in sand, so therefore the first person I try to mindfuck works perfectly. Cool, what's the explanation of that?
It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
That's our explanation.
I hate you.
Because
I really
my
do.
name's
I'm like-
Daisy and I'm British. If you don't explain anything about why this chick can do anything at the end of this third movie, then you are stupid. I'm sorry. I don't. People who like this new setup, it's like, okay, you start bringing in all this information and all the interesting stuff. You're just like, let's just be a cat and just you don't need that anymore. Buy Knights of Ren. No one cares. What?
Well, to
I'm
me,
sorry.
The reason I think it sucks so much is
You
it's-
took a
it's
bunch
just
more
staple.
Jedi with you when you left. Where the fuck are they?
I don't even think I don't even think the Knights of Ren are actually Jedi.
Yeah.
But even so, where are they?
Well, it's
What
not
happened?
like you made them a thing. Where the fuck are they?
Ryan Johnson really came into that franchise and fucked it. Like, like rewatching The Last Jedi, I like the concept of being like, we should turn this on its side and try to switch it up. But God, he just ruined everything as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, and since when can they just made up all these new abilities for Jedi? Like,
Hey, Steven.
okay, so Little Miss never practiced any Force powers whatsoever. Leia can now survive being blown out into space and fly in space.
Yep.
And then on top of that, what was the other weird one? Oh yes, I forgot about this. Jedi Skype.
Wait, what?
We're both bored in the middle of nowhere. Now we're just gonna have brain talks with each other for no goddamn reason
Okay.
because we're both
I can
doubting
see you.
ourselves
Can
in
you
its
see?
storyline.
Can you hear me now? Good.
And even through Force talk, she's in the rain and he gets wet. Oh my god! Like you're just adding new shit the Force can do just for the sake of making this more dramatic.
Like,
Magic,
RPG
gotcha.
Yeah,
in the
but
first
Puppet Yoda, dude, he's back.
No one cares.
I cared. I squealed.
He was all blue.
Yeah, because he's a ghost.
I was gonna say, didn't he die?
Yeah.
Wow, spoiler, Jay.
Spoiler from the oldest section of Star Wars.
Yeah. Spoilers from like the 70s.
It's in like the first
All the kids at home are going,
fourth of the
what?
like, the first fourth of the fucking movie of Return of the Jedi. Like he dies immediately in that movie.
That's not
It
even
really
the big
does, like, they-
spoiler in that series.
You
I-
must confront Vader.
I always love that. They introduce Yoda like in the originals, and he's so awesome, and then like, God, I can't wait to see Yoda miss. And you're just sitting in the theater going, well, that sucks.
Yeah, they did it with Maul too.
Yeah.
Lucas likes to fuck us.
But they brought him back, and never mind that
Get
series.
fucked by
bullshit.
the long arm of George Lucas.
The short, stubby arm.
It's fat and hairy.
And it gets everywhere.
I just really like Star Wars, so here you go. Bend over.
I thought I smelled bad on the outside.
Oh my god, fuck you.
Sorry.
Fuck you.
Squeal.
Star Wars
Thanks for joining us, Steven.
First thing he fucking says.
What do you want to talk about? What do you got? What do you got over there?
The Lighthouse? Have you seen the trailer?
Lighthouse. The
Robert
movie,
Eggers?
yes.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson and was it?
He's still doing things.
Who was? It's not Mads
He might be the
Mikkelsen.
next
Who
Batman.
was it?
Willem Dafoe.
that's
Willem
right, I heard-
Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Shot on
That's
Double
it's
X.
funny because this is something I did want to bring up, mostly just for you and Ryan, if he can talk more quietly in the basement. Is the idea that I brought up last night? I just wanted that
Mentioning
face
you're loud.
because everything I say against him just makes him.
I just don't understand why you guys are so mean to me.
You don't?
I killed you in Minecraft.
So, I brought up last night the fact that I have stopped going to theaters for movies under the pretense of seeing a good movie. I have started going to the theaters under the pretense of seeing a movie that I'm going to walk out going, that was fun.
Yeah.
And
That looks fatal.
considering how many things I follow, IFC, like all these other like tiny little movie companies, the fact that if you want a good movie, you go for these indie movies.
A24.
Like Lighthouse, A24, just
A24.
everything. And they've done so many good things. I mean, I didn't really look into this topic because I know you're going to bring it up, but every good movie I've seen nowadays seems to be more indie-based. But indie doesn't really mean what it used to.
Right.
It can still mean these great actors like Defoe and decent actors like Pattinson.
He was great in Waterfall.
Yeah, sure, cool.
Yes.
No one cares. There we go again. You gonna drop a what on me as well, there, Kassy? But yeah, I mean, it kind of gives hope to people like us who want to make these kind of smaller class films. One that finally made it to, I think it was either Netflix or Hulu. Steven, do you ever watch? I think it was either called Creature or Monster, about the single mom and her daughter that get stuck on the road in the middle of the woods.
I did hear about it.
That was actually
I
a
didn't
pretty
see
good
it, though.
one.
I think that's Monster. Oh God.
Yeah,
I think Monster. I'm not sure.
but it was actually really good.
I'm thinking of Monsters with Gareth Edward now.
Oh no, yeah, that was something. That was something. That's like, well, we'll call it
Sorry,
monsters.
I don't want to derail the conversation.
We'll call it monsters. We'll make sure there's monsters in there, but you'll never see them
Just like the 2014
because this is a love
Godzilla.
story. It's like, but no, yeah, you're absolutely right. I like seeing more of these little things pop up.
Yeah.
These independent ones where you're just like, ooh, I'm intrigued, because they've gone on to become much bigger things. I mean, technically, if it weren't for certain movie companies snagging up some of these, Hereditary started off as a very low-key indie-style film.
Yep.
The Witch the same way.
Yep.
And these horror movies are, specifically horror movies, seem to be benefiting from this more, because when you take an indie approach, it kind of you taking a stance saying, I don't give a shit what studios want.
Yeah.
And there's just as many studios out there like IFC, A24, all of those guys who are just like, you know what? Cool. We'll just slide this to you and you do your best. I mean, we're not out much because you're not asking for much.
Yeah, $4
Yeah.
million, the
Yeah.
budget.
Exactly. You're not
Same as-
asking for
same as
Avengers
The Witch.
money, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
This is an Avengers level threat.
So if it doesn't make any money, you're just like, well, all right.
Well, you know,
I mean, we do.
It's not
we-
world ending, okay?
Right.
forget about it.
That's,
Did
you know.
you see Midsummer?
I did not yet.
Oh,
I'm so pissed I had not.
Anyone here?
No,
Wow.
No.
I don't
and
get out much.
No.
Nate's falling asleep.
Nate doesn't even have
That
Netflix.
was,
Huh?
That was beautiful.
What?
I can get away with getting falling asleep on this.
Get away with it.
I'll just stick my dick in your ear. It's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, was
That's what the eggs got there. I figured it out.
Don't
your
tease me with a
chest?
good time.
Yeah, when in the ear and down, right?
My God.
So how do you think it stacked up compared to Hereditary?
I liked it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinematography wise, beautiful. Yeah.
So I'm
Did they
I'm
actually
unfamiliar
film
with
it
this
in
one.
Sweden? Or
But are there
right now, I'm
titties?
pretty sure it was.
Like bed sheet covered titties, wet t-shirt contest.
I'm unfamiliar with this one. How is it? It's
Oh, they
related
actually
to
shot in-
Hereditary, or is it just the same people?
Either writer or
Ari
Okay.
Aster, yeah,
Yeah.
same director, writer. Hungary and Utah. You know,
Weird flex, but okay.
Okay.
Hungry
It's,
in Utah. Wait, is it Hungry
Hungry
Utah?
for penis rocks.
Budapest.
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 You and I remember Budapest way differently.
We're a long way from
Great city.
Budapest.
Yeah, it was great.
Good. Well, I like hearing more and more about these ones. It kind
Yeah,
of gives
this
me
guy's
hope.
on the,
It's like the only thing gives me hope for the horror
He's
industry.
on the rise. Like he's promising for sure.
Yeah, because all it takes is for people like that to get enough. Because I mean, it was the same way with the guy who directed Mama and the first
Yeah.
part of It. I mean, he was kind of a fucking nobody for the longest time.
Oh yeah,
Until-
that's,
on it.
yeah, that's soon.
Ooh.
Yeah, and even Guillermo del Toro, he was a huge deal over in Spain. You know, doing things like Devil's Backbone and then like Pan's Labyrinth, kind of got a whole lot more attention from people. And then everybody's like, "Ooh, you're really good at this," and they started like kind of grasping at him to start doing more stuff, and he proved himself worthwhile. So.
And then they shot him in the foot with every other project he ever wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
Del Toro, you're in Death Stranding, but don't work on video games because every one that he has gotten canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, work on movies. Really good
the
movies.
please,
Go
God.
back to
Isn't
doing
he
your
doing
old
one with
fashioned.
From Software?
What's that?
Isn't he doing one with From?
No, that's George R. R. Martin.
Oh, shows you how much I know.
George R. R. Martin's making a game.
He's writing a storyline.
No, he's sitting in a room because he can't get up.
On MS DOS.
He's dictating somebody to write a game for him.
What's that one called?
He's got his newsy cap, and that's it.
Elders.
Elder Rings.
Elder Rings, that's what it is.
Elder Rings.
You're fucking welcome. I can go home now.
Yeah, it's coming out right next to Lord of the Scrolls.
I'd play the shit out of that. Elder Ring. Suck it.
Oh!
You've been Googled.
Lord of the Scrolls.
Lord of the Scrolls.
Lord of the Scrolls.
Lord of the G-string.
Try my
It's a
stone!
real movie.
It is.
I said it.
What would you get it at? 2 thumbs up or? Wow. I don't know.
Wow.
Sorry, that was bad. I don't know where I was going with that one.
I am going to shout out some love to Little Miss Misty Monday back in her time.
Woo!
Yeah, she was nice. She was nice.
Welcome to the porn section of the podcast.
Anyways,
Oh, boy.
why don't we move on to
Oh,
like,
God, Steven.
Steven.
why don't we move on to upcoming games?
Yeah, what do you got there, Matt?
What do
The
we
first
got?
one I wanted to bring up was Man of Medan.
Okay. The
Which-
game by
The same people who made Until Dawn. So it's another one of those playable horror, not really a lot of action, you're not fighting or anything like that.
But choose your own
Decision
story,
tree kind of.
Sal.
Supermassive games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like the most about this one, despite the fact that it takes place on a haunted ship, and it takes place over the span of 3 storylines throughout time, if I remember correctly from what they said. But they also added something that I think is really cool. Is that if you remember anybody who played Until Dawn, there were times when it was like with a character you're controlling wandering around with another character, so you guys could have the conversations that would change how things would happen. This time it's a little bit different. Now, let's just say I'm playing it, Ryan can jump in and take control of the other person.
Oh, really?
So the two of you can help make the decisions that will shape the storyline.
Nice.
And I really like that mentality, especially for this kind of game.
Are you
because,
sure you'd pick Ryan though out of everybody?
yeah.
That's
You
sort of
watch
similar
the
to what
Minecraft
was it?
Let's Plays?
What was the Prison Break game?
Better at things. Than
I
Name one.
don't remember the prison. I don't remember the name of the Prison Break
Give me a
game.
day.
But yeah, like where
Ryan
you
played it, but he's not paying attention. So
I'm
like
listening.
you can have your
the
friend
Prison
just
Break
jump
game
in.
Prison Break game?
that just came out.
You played a bunch with Jens.
Oh, A Way Out?
That's it.
There
Yeah,
you go.
sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, prison? I was like, the show?
Where you basically get your friend to jump in and help you escape.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. It's much more than a Prison Break. Like, that game, if you guys haven't played it.
Prison Architect.
That's what the game. That's how everyone knows the game. Though.
Well, sure, yeah. It is an amazing, 6 hours of a video game.
Yeah.
God, it's good.
So that one I'm excited about, mostly just because I like the idea of. Well, I was really impressed with Until Dawn, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
It had that this is a narrative game. This is a choose your own adventure kind of game. It has all those fun elements of horror without having to worry about whether or not you can swing a sword or an axe fast enough to save yourself from a nurse or a cleric beast, for fuck's sake. So good times.
Don't have to get your dodge rolls on point.
Yeah, and plus you don't have to worry about the hide and run and hide mechanic from Outlast. As much as that was fantastic.
Gives me anxiety.
Well, right, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the
I mean,
purpose of
I
that
know-
game.
I know
Well,
that's
yeah,
the
but that
purpose.
entire game revolves around pattern memorization, whereas this is more narrative choices, and I like that because it reminds me a whole lot more of Layers of Fear, and that nowadays when it comes to horror, that's kind of what I want to see more is more just narrative based. I don't need to fight. I just want you to focus more on the horror aspect.
Yeah, because I can see very much that horror games end up going the Resident Evil route, where it becomes an action game instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's funny because that's a really big thing when it comes to Resident Evil and how Resident Evil progressed, starting from the original one all the way up to 6, when Resident Evil could no longer be defined as survival horror.
Yeah.
Which is why they stopped making games in that particular way. Even the remake of 2 goes back to its roots. It is more horror than it is action. I mean, you can't just dodge underneath attacks and do wind-up power attacks as Chris that sends zombies flying across the fucking room.
Or punch a boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fucking egg.
yeah. 4, 5, and 6 definitely took the genre and was like, let's just.
I feel like that's almost too
Call
much.
of Duty zombies.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It might have also just been playing to what was popular at the time, but I feel like unless you go that narrative route, it's too easy to slip into that action style.
Yeah, they were trying to modify the control scheme, which they did well enough in 4 while still keeping a lot of the horror aspect to it. I mean, the only thing super actiony that Leon could do, despite, having shitty hair, was to, I shot somebody in the leg, let me go over there and roundhouse kick him across the street.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Need help crossing the
I
street?
knew Ryan would be content with that.
Damn right.
Do you need help crossing the street? Let me help.
Yeah, let me just do some Pilates and send you flying because you're dead and I'm alive and I'm Leon.
What's your secret, Pilates?
Oh, this old lady needs help getting across the street.
Yeah.
So unless anybody has anything else to add on that.
Did you? I was just looking at the wiki. Did you bring up the fact that apparently this is the first installment in a series?
They're actually,
Okay.
it's not even just a series, it's an anthology. They're
Yeah.
creating an
Oh, boy.
anthology of games
The
based
Dark
around...
Pictures anthology series.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this seems like the start of a very big, just ongoing group of games in this aspect, which is exciting.
That
Yeah.
seems like a fun new genre.
Yeah.
Cooperative puzzle solving.
We should definitely play it.
We've all watched YouTubers play these. I mean,
new genre.
I can only use Mark as a representative right now. Like these indie horror games might be short, they might be nothing.
You're right.
But a lot
Crab
of them-
fighter.
Crab fighter.
Game's
And,
fucking terrifying.
Yes.
And so many of them are just so simple. They didn't add combat mechanics unless it's just really quick gunplay and stuff like that. It's all about them
Or
trying to set the
flashlight.
mood. Yeah,
Flashlight.
flashlight. Yep,
Flashlight.
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 Nope, we all heard it.
Did you see Steven perk up there?
Flashlight and a jar of lube.
That sounds
Fucking
like-
gotcha, bitch.
To the point where this is kind of the way horror should go when it comes to, kind of like what I brought up with the movies as well. Indies have been doing it right for horror games. Why not let these kind of games and their particular design scheme continue on?
From what I saw in the trailer, it was basically like, this is a chapter, or this is a book, this is one, and then a whole bookshelf full. It's like,
Yep.
oh.
And that's the
Love
cool
it.
thing, because they can just keep going. Doesn't matter what you base the game around, as long as you have these great horror elements like Until Dawn had. I mean, I remember the time I played Until Dawn, me and Summer rented it, and we just kind of like sat there, and I played it while she made the decisions on stuff, and we just played through the entire thing in one Saturday.
Steven, we did that too.
Yeah, on Jensen's projector.
On Jensen's projector at his house is what we did. Yeah, it was like it was me, you, Jens, Brandy, and I think Kelly was there too, and we just played it like 3 nights in a row.
That was fun.
We're like, God, I can't wait to get home and play more Until Dawn.
Right. It's just a really cool aspect.
It's an
Should we
interactive
do
movie.
should we do a let's play in it? Should we just get all of us and just fucking go for it?
I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, why
Let's
not?
do it. Do it. If you want to see it, say it in the comments.
VR?
If you want to see it, we're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah, fuck
we're
you.
gonna do it anyways. Your opinion
We'll
doesn't
keep it
matter.
posted.
No, I'm kidding.
Every single comment, please don't. Please don't.
By the way,
Please
thank
do.
you.
Just don't have Ryan.
Thank you for subscribing to our channel. By the way, thank you. We appreciate it.
There's our thank you video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we want to just do a thank you right now?
me
or-
and Nate as we're like, hey, thanks.
How you doing? Welcome to Rhinovision, baby.
This is where I just zoom in on Lane.
Hey guys.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah, good.
So
What do I do with my hands?
All right, so let's move on to the next
Yeah,
one.
what
which
else you
is
got there,
a
buddy?
Big one that everybody,
Matt loves juice.
more
Juice.
more
Juice?
people are probably excited about, and that's Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
September 12th?
Shut up.
Borderlands 3 has been very long anticipated.
This year in particular has been releasing continuations for every series that I love.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, Devil May Cry,
Cry.
Borderlands 3. Those are my top 3.
There you go. It's that I
Boom,
love it
boom,
whenever
boom.
that happens.
It's a good
No.
year for you, Jay.
But
For
no,
those of you who are really huge Borderlands fans, and even just decent Borderlands fans, what do you think?
I'm excited. I seriously want to see what happens, what new mechanics they've put in there, and all the different characters. I mean, I haven't gone into detail on the trailers for all the characters because I want that mystery. I want to see what can they do.
I feel the same way. I've been hesitant to look up more material.
I've done 2 of them, and it was like, Oh yeah.
Give me more crack. I need it. Give me.
Have you seen their whole like promotional thing they're building up to it? They got something going on their website where like you enter these codes that you can get through email subscriptions or Twitch streams. They'll release them, and you get points. You can purchase either guns or DLC or like skins or stuff for both Borderlands 2, pre-sequel, and even 3 when it comes out. I already have a
Shift codes.
basically, yeah. But I already have a legendary gun coming in for 3, plus a whole new skin for the character I'm going to be playing as.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up is the fact that they will actually have legitimate skins. It's not just like a recolor texture.
Yeah.
These characters will actually have other skins.
That's awesome.
Not just like a changing out of the head, which is a really cool idea, for one. Another thing I'm excited about is the fact that instead of you just having one super ability, each character has 3.
Oh,
They are
right.
differentiations based on what they actually have and utilize, like Flack the Beastmaster. Depending on which super ability you're utilizing is a different one of those 3 pets.
Mm-hmm.
And they each do pseudo different things, which I think is cool. And the same is for all the rest of them. I didn't look into details on them because, again, I kind of wanted to be surprised on some of it. I watched the like character
Right, just
trailers and stuff like
that's
that.
just to get to know the character a little bit, so you
Yeah.
can go in
Yeah.
knowing what character you want to play as,
Yep.
which is perfect. I don't want to know too much about them. Again, all 3 of us, I guess, keeping that mystery to it. But I would like to know who I like the most out of those 4 characters.
Right. I mean, how many times have we jumped in and been like, I like this guy? And
Yeah.
you're like, never mind. And now that this guy's here,
Yeah.
fantastic. But yeah, and then even they released a top 5 goofy weapons trailer
Oh yeah.
where they spoke about the cheeseburger gun. There's a rocket launcher that fires cheeseburgers that do corrosive damage because they're rotten cheeseburgers.
Ah, with or without mustard.
I don't know.
I heard about the flamethrower whose safe word is cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of fun ones. There's a TDR gun, which normally anybody who's played remembers that when you reload a TDR gun, you throw it and it explodes in a grenade. This one, when you reload it and throw it, it floats around shooting whatever was left in the clip. And whatever is nearby. I've even seen footage of TDR guns where when you reload them and throw them, they sprout legs and just run forward shooting.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things they threw in the trailer. It's
Yep.
just, hey, we got guns with legs now.
It is just, this pistol with these 2 spindly little things running forward shooting just...
Hi-oh!
And I also saw that on your main gun, you get the sub attachment onto it where you can do corrosive damage or electrical damage.
Like
You get
weapon
that type-
customization sort of thing.
Yes,
That's
and they've
awesome.
really branched the mentality of how these guns are supposed to react. I mean, in the previous games, they all still reacted the same way, depending on the style of gun, unless you had one with some kind of special flavor text or a legendary.
Right, like you said, all the TDers, you throw
Yeah.
it a reload. All the Molly ones have better element damage.
Right, but now it's instead of it just being like, oh, well, every single one either shoots in a pattern like this or a pattern like this or a pattern like that, or, your and mine favorite, the Infinity Pistol, or just shoots in a sideways figure 8 because it has infinite ammo.
Keeps going.
Yeah, just you're not gonna hit much, but you never run out of ammo.
You never
Spray,
hit much
spray,
as gauge
spray.
anyways.
Right.
Well, you can't use that gun as gauge.
Again, you're just disabling her biggest
No,
capability.
you can't, because her skill reduces clip size, and if that does not have a clip size, you can't fire it.
Wow, it's like
You
dividing by
cannot
0.
use it with that skill tree.
Hey, it's still 0.
Which means you have no cookies and you have
Anyways.
no friends.
So Nate, how about you? I know you played a little bit of the other Borderlands. I mean, are you excited for it? Do you care at all?
I'm getting there.
All right, next topic.
as any true passing
like-
fan.
Apparently, we need to get Nate another
Me and Nate.
monster.
On the same
I mean,
page.
like, yeah, I'm
crashing
excited.
fast.
Well, always, but yeah, like I'm excited, but I'm kind of in that same boat of I don't want to know anything about it until it actually comes out. Like
Going
I did.
blind.
Yeah, going blind, baby.
All right, well then let's switch to something you are excited about. How about the Surge 2?
Mm.
Okay, so the Surge 2. First and foremost, before I let Nate spooge all over it, anybody who has not played the Surge and is just now hearing about Surge 2 should really go out, especially if you are a fan of the Souls series or Bloodborne.
A hack and slash.
Yes, I have watched a couple of videos that just everybody is just stoked. All the critics are stoked. They love this. They're basically saying this is exactly what they've always wanted to see and feel from the Souls games. And what they got, this is exactly what they got. They said if you love Bloodborne, you will love this. Because it's the same kind, you have the same feeling of strength, you get the finishing moves. And I stumbled upon the Surge just going through the...
free PSN stuff.
Not even free. It wasn't free. It was just like, just going through the games. Like, oh, what's this one? The
Oh, yeah,
Surge, that seems interesting. Yeah.
You had found it before it went free.
Yeah.
And then you showed it to us while it was free.
Yeah.
And we all just loved it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's very difficult.
As funny as it is, the first time I played it was on the channel.
Yep. We'll put a link up here if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah.
Here or here? It'll be in the
But do us a favor, watch it after this.
over there.
Thanks.
Just
It'll be
finish
right up
there.
there.
It's going to be down here, actually. No. Shane
Lane, help me with this. It's gonna be right here.
No, apparently I'm taking on the podcast.
Oh, Jay put it down.
This here.
That's not how this works.
You got it.
Put it wherever you want. Put it on the magic eraser and make it tiny.
Ooh.
Yeah, baby.
No, that's my paintball challenge.
So, how much have you looked up for this?
I've watched gameplay. I watched the first cinema trailer, and I'm content with that little bit of information.
Going
But
in-
already, like, combat seems very different because you now basically have trick weapons.
Yep.
Oh.
As you get like a great axe, and then you can like in mid-fight you can just
Snap
switch
it in
them,
half.
and then you
That
have two
is-
hatchets.
I never played a whole lot of Bloodborne, but that was the part that always just...
Was fascinating
I
as
love
fuck.
the fact that they had these weapons.
Changed how you would fight every fight.
Yep, how you go through every moment, just like, oh, I have a cane. Bam, bam.
No.
Now I need a whip.
Yeah.
I did really well with that.
Anyway,
Put a link to that.
It'll be over there. Don't
Be
watch
down
it.
there in the garbage can.
I should have deleted that fucking
No, that's hilarious.
the other thing that looks really interesting is the scenery.
Yes.
Everything-
Jericho City looks awesome.
I have to beat that game, which really sucks. But
You can do
I
it.
gotta
first one.
start that game.
the fucking Black
We have
Cerberus
just
asshole.
under a month.
Oh,
I
boy.
can
I'm
do
not
it.
going to do it in a month, but I am going to at least get it started.
How much more do you have left? How much more do you have left? You know.
Yeah,
No
so
idea.
the sections of Creo International, which is the setting for the first game, is there are 4 major areas. This is supposed to have about, I think, 16.
Oh, wow.
And that's major areas, which are still the exact same setup as Bloodborne and the first Surge, where you don't get a map, for one. You have to find shortcuts to figure out how to get back easier. You know, you get too far out and you take care of a bunch of shit and you're like, I gotta get back or I'm gonna die and lose my scrap. And that's when you come across some elevator that you just turned on, which leads you right back to where you need to go to drop this shit off. And I love that.
And then there's always the huge question of, I have all this tech scrap. The question now
Right,
is, I'm at a
making the
point, do I
decision.
turn around and put it all away?
At what point do
Or
you
do I
have too
push
much?
forward when I've gotten this far?
Yeah, they added a multiplier in this
Oh.
game. So it gave you a reason to hold on to that scrap and risk it.
Oh, damn.
I was playing the first one. I was playing the DLC Creo World, and I was going through a new area. Got to this point, had like 140k worth of tech scrap, and then died, and I had to run all the way back. And I got to the area where my stuff was right when my timer ran out to pick it up. So I lost 140k, continued on, and then found the shortcut right back to the actual bench,
Oh,
right next to it.
no.
I literally had died 15 feet from an elevator. Took me right back to the main
buddy.
spot.
Sorry, buddy.
Don't touch me. I will kill you.
See what I gotta fucking deal with?
He's such
No.
a
You do it
hands-on
to
person, and
yourself.
nobody wants him to be hands-on.
He's too touchy-feely.
Okay.
I'm sure it'd be different if I could actually pay you guys.
Is that a knife in my balls?
That day I write that first paycheck. Thank you so much.
Hey, best buddy!
Hey! You really just gave me a check for 35 cents. I'm gonna paper cut you to death. You fucking asshole.
Look, it was the wrong week, okay?
Right.
What, I had to pay myself back for everything I've spent on all this
That's
stuff.
your overtime.
Wait. We got overtime?
Everything else goes to
I just
paying
one day a week
for,
at this.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
paying for Cassie's cosplay stuff. So does anybody else have any thoughts on Surge 2?
Excited to see what happens. That's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you know more once I've started the game.
It's a good game. I'm not one of those Bloodborne players. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the stressful situation of like
I wanted to be. I really
having
wanted
to
be.
figure out how to deal with each enemy and going with the flow and really managing your capability to heal yourself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even as far along in the first one as I am, I've beaten the game, gone back through and New Player Plus or New Game
Game
Plus, And there's still, like, every enemy I come across, it still has the possibility to whoop my ass. And every situation is still just as stressful, and I love that feeling. Even going back and playing any of these games that I've played, I mean, I beat Bloodborne, go back through. Sure, it's easier now that I have faith in myself to actually pull it off, but it's still stressful as hell, and I love that feeling.
I love that gameplay style too. Like, I'm not good at it. I know I'm not.
At least we found the cleric beast.
I just love the way that they've built those games. That's part of the reason I've always wanted to play. I mean, I played Demon Souls when it first came out. Didn't do well. I played Bloodborne. I tried Dark Souls. I'm a Devil May Cry player, so just throw me in and let me swing the sword. But I tried.
Ryan's the character where, like, I want to be more badass than the planet.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to be able to kill the sun with a fart. That's what Ryan wants to play.
His favorite superhero is Superman, so
fuck yeah.
It's not surprising that's his mentality on games.
You know, I was asked the other day who my favorite Marvel character was. I couldn't give an answer. I could not pick a favorite Marvel character. But for DC, it was just instantly Superman. But I just could not.
Who's the worst Marvel character out there?
The worst?
Superman.
Speedball.
For who? For Marvel?
Squirrel
Yeah,
Girl.
Speedball. I don't know.
That's my favorite. Cause fuck everything.
I heard that name once. I don't even know what he does.
Who?
my
Speedball.
favorite's actually Night Monkey.
Yeah.
Night Monkey. Yeah.
Starring Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
All right, so next up is one I think a lot of us are excited for as well. Greedfall.
That does look
Greedfall
cool.
looks
That's what I was gonna look up.
phenomenal. Greedfall has the gameplay elements of,
At least it looks like it.
like, Fable.
Oh.
Well,
The Witcher.
really?
mixing
Like, if
in
you-
like a revolutionary kind of time period, as well as the gameplay mechanics of Assassin's Creed combined with Elder Scrolls.
Then I'm fucking all in.
Like
for
if
that
you
shit.
watch the gameplay of it, it does look very Fable-like.
God, I love the first Fable.
The Fable and The Witcher combined.
Rip Lionhead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Witcher is another good one.
That's right. Lionhead
You guys
Studios
keep
is
talking. I'm
gone.
gonna watch 9 minutes of Greedfall.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, so the storyline is you're on like this diplomatic expedition to this island, which is full of not only settlers but also indigenous people. And the thing that makes this island unique is it is actually home to magic and creatures and stuff like that. So I mean,
pretty.
the storyline seems to start off as like a diplomatic mission, and then you have to decide along the way, you know, what stance are you going to take? You're going to side with the Aboriginals. You're going to side with the people you're supposed to side with. You're going to side with nature, that kind of thing. I recently watched a trailer for the fact that they are mentioning the fact that you get companions, people that come along with you, kind of like Mass Effect in that regard. And depending on who you bring with you, just like Mass Effect,
You can
they
romance
can
them.
change the narrative
Okay, I'm
Kinda
all
like
for
Dragon
this.
entire
Age 2.
storyline.
Oh.
Like
All
you
in.
bring the indigenous.
Yeah, but basically the native,
The native female along, and if you start siding with like
the locals.
the invaders, she will literally start a fight that would not have happened, just because she does not like the fact that you're siding with her enemy.
Yeah.
There's an older guy, this old grizzled knight, who will like be the kind of voice of reason that just like speaks up and says, "All right, everybody, calm down." There's the scientist lady that specializes in guns and grenades and shit like that. And then there's your standard sidekick kind of guy.
Dude, I'm all in for
Just
this.
there to do what
This
you-
looks
Yeah.
great.
And by the way, for anybody who's watching this, if it comes out before it happens, I am going to be live streaming it probably the day after it comes out, or the day it comes out.
Yeah, we'll
later in the
blast
evening.
that out on social and everything like that.
Probably that Tuesday night or whatever.
It'll be
it
on
is.
the
Probably
Rhinovision
all three
Twitch.
of us will be doing it.
Yeah,
Each
release
one
it
of
on
us
Friday.
is totally different.
Are they?
Yeah.
Whenever the game comes out, I'll be.
When
probably
does it come out?
Streaming it that day.
19th?
Is it the 19th?
10th? 10th?
Ooh.
Alright.
Yeah. No, that looks great. That is the first I've seen on it. So.
Yeah, it does look really cool, and like I remember I was I think we were playing like Killing Floor or something. I was watching it while we were playing, and
Yeah.
I was dead basically. So I was like, I got time, watch.
Yeah.
Oh,
The game
okay.
literally started back up, and he's still just watching. It's like, Nate, you gonna play this? It's like, no, I'm watching this. This is awesome.
Bitch, I'm busy.
I'm busy!
you guys can do fine without me. You're
No,
fine.
I do have a
Yes.
question though. Is it gonna be? Can I kick a chicken like I can in Fable 2 and
No.
get an achievement?
We
Check
don't
it
know.
out. We don't know.
We don't know.
Well, buying it just to find out now.
You can shoot it with rifle, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing I love too.
Watch
is
it
that you can
dodges
do
Nail.
dual-handed,
Blunderbuss.
sword and shield, axes, whatever weapon style you like, you can do it.
Yeah, you were watching a bit earlier, and I thought that
This is
was
Black Powder era.
the variety of combat options looked fascinating to me.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then
Like right now, I'm thinking, rapier and pistol, possibly. I don't know.
Well, like, yeah, like just the idea that you can go like they have like 3 big choices, but you can go and you immediately go into all 3.
Oh.
Just like that. So if you want, you can go rapier pistol, and then it's like magic.
yeah,
Yeah.
might as well have a backup.
Destruction.
And just the overall customization, not having the
Stool is
same
really hurting my back.
same old blasé kind of costume wear. I mean, all the outfits are interchangeable. They made it seem like there was at the start like about 300 different costume and outfit pieces to make your character look more unique. You get character customization at the beginning. You can re-equip your companions who you bring with you with different weapons.
I'm gonna make
You wear your companions like
I'm
armor.
gonna make you in the game,
Super.
which will just be generic white guy number 1,
With a
and then you have generic white guy number 2, 3,
Because
4.
that's what I am.
number
Ryan's
5.
at number 1.
Yeah.
So that I'm really excited
Don't ever
for.
put us in a video game, please. Anybody out there? I'm kidding.
Admiral Redbeard wants a big hat.
Yeah, big hat, Commodore.
All right, next up is one that I know Nate is very excited to talk about. Doom Eternal.
Yo, I'm stoked as fuck.
I was going to say the Robot Chicken game, but okay.
The what?
What?
That's a thing.
No. We need to go into this.
Yeah.
I think Lane
Hold
will-
off on Doom.
Go on.
Crab fight.
Crab fight!
Okay,
Yeah.
Crab Fight is fucking dope.
Okay. Okay.
Is Robot Chicken making a game though?
No, this is old. Don't worry about it.
You're old.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't have anything else to say on that. I'm sorry.
anyways,
Okay.
Doom Eternal.
Doom
Yeah,
Eternal.
Doom Eternal.
And that comes
looks
out
so
in
November 22nd.
Yeah, in
How
Doom,
many days away?
the most recent
fucking know.
Doom
I
was
just know when it comes out. I'm
such
probably
a
taking that week
phenomenal,
off.
such a phenomenal game just because of the fact that it took everything that we were used to for Doom. Because Doom 3 came out and it was a horror game. So first-person shooting horror game.
Horror game.
Which
Yep.
is so different from even the original Doom.
One of the scariest games ever played back on the original Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. And then this Doom came out, and you were just the epitome of badassery.
Fuck yeah.
You just had a murder boner the entire time,
Well,
and you were just like pulling arms off of people and beating them to
It
death,
was so fast paced. It was so much fun.
shoving lasers up people's
Loved it.
asses.
Well, let's look at the introductory of the character. You wake up, and the first thing you do is you crush a skull.
Yep.
Just kish!
I mean, if you
There we
don't
go.
have an erection the entire time you're playing that game, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
I never had one.
Apparently nothing. I was
Maybe
too
it's
busy
just-
playing.
Oh, and then
It
like
could have
the
been the Viagra I took like 2 hours prior. Though,
and then like
so-
the first like character interaction you have with Samuel Haynes is, I need your help. No, and you just go.
Yeet.
Well, it's like the first computer you come across. It's even fantastic. You just go up to it, you're like, push. Break, and just shut the computer away. Like,
You need to disconnect the thing. Break!
It's
Don't
great.
break this thing. Break!
You're walking up to it. Oh, interesting. There's hacking in it. Then he just destroys it. Like, yeah, that's how Doom guys should hack.
Like how you, yeah, the whole Argent Core. You need to just looking at it. Fuck it. Stomp.
Yeah. Steven, did you play Doom? I
Nope.
feel like you haven't talked in like 45 minutes.
Nope.
Do you play any video games?
I'm playing Let's Go Pikachu.
Fuck yeah!
Oh yeah.
Yep. I'm about to beat the Elite Four right now, and then yeah, that's about it.
Anyways, so
Thank you for the Nintendo section.
the new things with Doom, you probably know a whole lot more than I do, but just like the idea of
The heavens being involved for one.
Yeah, that's for one is very cool for a storyline aspect,
Yep.
gameplay aspect. I mean, despite the visceral kills and stuff like that.
Yep. All the glory kills.
Yep, having a harpoon or claw attachment
bu-
on the
the
bottom
bow.
of your
Oh
shotgun.
yeah, the meat hook.
Yep.
On the not the doom stick. Wow, I play a lot of Killing Floor.
No.
Just your super shot.
Yep. Just grabbing stuff, either pulling them to you or pulling you to them.
They got rid of the Gauss cannon and replaced it with basically a giant ballista cannon.
Yep.
Ooh.
Which instead of it being like a super shot, now it like embeds in a target and then boop 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 and blows up.
So it's really cool to have a ballista, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Awesome.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
Yeah, and like apparently also there will actually be a connection between all the Doom games.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yes. So there's a reason why like these demons look different compared to the original Doom 2016 Doom.
Oh, really?
Like all those demons and these new demons look totally different, and there's apparently a reason why.
That's cool.
Well,
Yep.
Doom 3 kind of, the DLC for it touched on the fact that there are separate areas of hell, and each ones have kind of their own rulers,
It's like
because...
7 layers.
7 layer salad.
like the mentality that there are, like once you got the Soul Cube or whatever the hell it was called. If I'm,
Soul Cube.
Yep. The fact that you had to go and kill off these other generals who like led their own like factions and stuff like that. So, it'd be interesting to see how that comes into play, or even like you said, the heavens being involved now.
Yep.
Because don't they want the character you're playing as dead?
They basically want him to stop.
Yeah. Just all right. Enough. Slow
Killing all
down.
the
I
demons.
do
We
like
need something to do.
I
Down,
do
boy.
like the one comment of "You are but one man," and the first comment is, "And there's all these demons. I don't see a problem in this. This seems like a fair fight.
Yeah.
Let them fight."
Are you sure you guys don't want to go get
You're
some more
John
guys?
Wick of Mars.
Yeah.
have you just really quickly just on that? Have you seen John Wick 3?
You asked me this last night, so no.
Okay.
You were drunk though. Ryan drinks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
What?
Is it a problem? What's going on? What?
Nothing wrong.
We're having an intervention.
That's the real reason for the podcast.
The podcast.
I would love to hear you guys try to give an intervention because you'd give up halfway and smother me with a fucking pillow.
I was just
We
gonna,
care about you and oh god.
I was just gonna drown you in the alcohol.
Guys, he gave us credit.
Who
It was
brought the elected
halfway
buzzer?
through. Not just immediately. It's intervention time.
You saw that they released all the original Dooms on like
Tablet,
network
yep.
and all that, right? Yeah.
on tablet. That's
Yeah, they are.
Really?
They're on mobile and on the PlayStation
you
Store
can get
for
it on
like.
your tablet.
No.
I think the
For
first
$5.
Doom is like $2 in the PlayStation Store. The second one is like $3, and then Doom 3 is like $9.
Holy shit.
Yeah, both of them are $5.
Fuck yeah.
Get them all. Buy them all.
What?
You can
What
only
do you
get,
say?
you can only get Doom 1 and 2. You can't get 3.
Big boat in it.
But 3
Big
is
boat
coming
in
out
it.
on the Wii. I did see that.
On the
During,
Wii?
Yeah, during QuakeCon they had a huge thing about it. Doom 3 is coming for the Wii.
And all three of them are on PlayStation Network right now.
Weester.
I thought the last game that was ever going to come out on the Wii would be Just Dance.
Or like no, what was
the Switch.
Yeah, that one.
On Nintendo.
On the Nintendogs.
Why is it gotta be so complicated? We got Wii U, Switch. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Because they like to do things differently than everybody else.
They're dumbasses, is what they are.
We would like to play.
As
Or
they
we'll
pulled-
go-
as they pulled in more money than the Xbox did.
Then we'll go
Stop
Xbox 360,
defending
1 and 1S.
Nintendo.
X.
We get it. They do a good job. We're not saying they don't. We're just saying they name their system stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Doom Eternal.
The Wii U was dumb.
I'm disappointed my Wii U broke because now I can't play Mega Man anymore.
Mega Man, Mega Man.
I'm gonna put a link in the description down to Mega
No.
Man Butthole Network,
Doom Eternal.
where
was
we
really
had no
good.
idea what was going on.
No, I enjoyed it though. I had a blast.
I want to watch the trailer.
Yeah, so doesn't change the fact we didn't have a
Probably
clue.
watch
what
Show
to do.
off.
Who cares?
God,
I enjoyed it. I don't care if nobody likes that video. I would play the whole series.
Oh god, no.
Well, the battle mode looks really weird for Doom Eternal. I don't know if I like
Oh,
it.
the multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the like the two monsters versus the
Yeah, the battle
one guy?
mode.
It's an interesting way to go about it.
Like basically, it's like, oh yeah, you can play as like the Ravager, the Mancubus, or like the Capra Demon, or one of the other demons, and you can summon other demons to try to kill the Slayer.
Oh, is it
No.
gonna be kind of like how the versus mode on Killing Floor works?
More or less. It's
Okay.
it's 2 versus 1, but the thing that I don't like about it is immediately how I see this going is it's going to be a level up system. And as soon as you go against someone that's like a level 1 and you're a 50, you will cripple that person beyond all recognition and they will never want to play again.
As it
Yeah.
should.
That was the one that
Well,
it
no,
showed.
that's the
No.
thing. You need that like stability and leveling because that's one of the main things that destroyed Evolve.
Yeah.
And they tried to do like an actual
Rest in
online
peace.
ranking system.
Like that was even like, did you ever play the Dead Space 2 multiplayer?
God no.
They have
I did.
multiplayer in Dead Space 2.
Yes, they did.
Oh.
There were 4 there were 4 security, and then there were 4 necromorphs. If you were level 1 and you go against anyone higher than you, you are immediately fucked. Just
Sounds like
that.
fun.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. But yeah, I'm curious to see like how that'll actually work. I'm really intrigued by the storyline. I want to just murder everything with my boot, and occasionally a fist.
They said boobs.
Those two,
As well.
Yeah.
Yes. Doom
Yeah.
Girl.
Is there a
Girl.
chainsaw?
of
No.
course.
Why would
Well,
there not be
apparently
a
you get a chainsaw and also the
sword?
the
Yes.
crucible,
Ooh.
which is a
Yep.
energy sword
Get
basically.
a
Yeah.
sword attached to your arm.
Yep. Oh, that too. And a shoulder-mounted grenade launcher.
Yep.
You're
You know,
We're just
longer
gonna
throw
turn him into
grenades.
War Machine.
Pretty much.
Basically.
But more
you're
powerful.
the Hell Knight, of
And
course.
apparently Vega's now just part of your suit. He's your Cortana.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, as well, he should be.
Fucking Doom
Fucking
Halo
Lance
crossover.
Henriksen. For
Never
Christ's
make a
sake.
promise.
You can't
Never,
keep.
never make a
Yeah, Master Chief versus Doom guy.
Ooh,
That'd be fun.
John.
that'd be a good one.
7.
John.
I
be
think they had an
so
epic
fast.
rap battle
You
of
fight these
that.
alien demon things, and they call you the demon. Does that mean I get to kill you?
Sure, why not?
So the next one I wanted to bring up is kind of an indie game. I don't really know when it's coming out, and there hasn't been a lot released on it, but it's a game called Control, which is, best way I can describe it is very much like Infamous, where you're just a regular person who suddenly has superpowers.
Yeah, telekinesis. You can fly.
Yeah, and it's all kinds of things, and they talk about how all these different abilities can be utilized in different formats within combat, from picking up shit and throwing it at people to deflecting bullets to, you know, making legitimate attacks at people and stuff like that.
That comes out this week.
Also, I saw something where like she was like controlling somebody and changed it so that they're her friend or something.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like, oh.
And the thing I like the most about this kind of thing is because it reminds me of a world where you can have these superpowered characters and have them not be forced to be something Marvel or DC related. That's what I always loved about Infamous, is that it was such a new and original thing, despite still being a superhero story. That
Right, it doesn't have to step on anyone's toes.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, we can get these kind of games and this kind of gameplay without it having to be within these pre-existing universes.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you brought up the whole Avengers game where it's like, yes, but it's one of those things where it's like playing a ring toss game in the hopes that like these licensed characters come up with a good game.
Sure.
It has been rough.
Yeah, and
And
really
I
the
was-
only ones we ever get is
I was
Spider-Man.
terrified for Spider-Man, but then once you guys said it was good, I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that, because overall it was like,
Yeah, you never really get a lot of good ones. And the worst part was they used to always be like the movie tie-in their
Yep.
games.
Yeah.
Which always sucked.
They were
Except
rushed
for
and
Return of the King.
awful.
That one was great, but
they just rushed and they were terrible and
did
disgusting.
you ever play the when the original Ang Lee Hulk came out? Did you ever play the Hulk game?
No.
That game was stupid fun. It was so bad.
No.
Or
Oh,
King-
I'm actually,
King Kong?
I actually played a demo for it, and it's
Yeah.
like as soon as I played the demo and I found out that as Hulk you can die from bullets, I'm like, alright, I'm done.
Right. That's not possible.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, I understand why you have to do that to make like a challenge in the game,
Right.
but
That's part of. I mean, Hulk. That type of character shouldn't be involved. It's kind of like being Wolverine. He doesn't die.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
Why
shouldn't
did
have
you
a
make
health
this?
bar.
The X2 game that came out was a really great game because it had like a sneak mechanic. You could use your senses
Oh,
to
I remember
hunt
that
down
one,
people
yes.
by following their footsteps, and there was quiet takedown kills,
That one
hiding
was fun.
bodies, shit like that.
Yeah.
Security's tighter than one of Gene's suits.
Yeah.
Sorry, that line stuck with me. I don't know why, but I was like, holy shit, yeah.
So everybody take a look at Control. Like you said, it comes out this week.
Yeah, the 27th is when it comes out.
Fuck.
So yeah, I do. Now that you brought it up, because I've been reading about it this week a little bit, but I remember when they did the E3 reveal like 2 years ago, and I just had no idea what the fuck it was about. It looked dumb to begin with. I'm excited. Like, I mean, they didn't really show much off in the E3 reveal. It was just obviously a cinematic, but it was like, what is this game?
Yeah.
And then now, obviously, it comes out in 3 days from when we're recording this,
That makes me happy because
which probably be 2 days for you guys.
I don't think Infamous ever made it to PS4. So now that we get something,
Well, they had Second Son.
Yeah.
Second
That-
Son was
okay.
fantastic.
It was right.
it wasn't the
Not
same
good,
as the
not
first
good
two.
not as good as
Good
the first
one.
two.
It was
First one was
okay.
Yeah. But what's the other one? Prototype?
Yep.
Yeah,
I got
I,
into that game just to fucking go around and just
Yeah.
here's my
That
save,
game's
here's
just to
my
be-
save file. I got everything. Have fun. Boy, we did.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't
you
even
come
have
home
a save
from-
file, and I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come home from work just in a bad mood,
Blow
just
shit
jump
up.
Light
into
it up!
Prototype and just run down the fucking sidewalk at a
Yep.
full sprint, turning people to mush.
Love that shit.
Throwing tanks at helicopters. Fucking glorious. Alright, the last one I wanted to bring up was one I'm sure Ryan's chomping at the bit for, and sure a couple of us are as
Hold on,
well.
before we get to it, we need to finish talking about Death Stranded.
Ah, yes.
I just remembered we totally glazed over that topic.
I figured we would. That's why I brought it up in the beginning, because I knew you guys didn't want to talk about it.
That's
was
why
it
I don't want
about
to talk
again?
about it. There's still nothing
What?
about it.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
gotta read
Let's
us.
go into deep thought on this right now.
Just trying to push
Let's
past
start
the idea.
Do
speculating.
you guys really want to? 'Cause I'll do it.
No.
I'll do
So,
it. You see the
anyway.
clip where the chick had the baby and she was fucking she was breastfeeding her baby and she's stuck in one zone because her baby's dead and it's just like hanging out in the other world, but she can't leave it.
Go on.
It's like he's trying to.
right,
said
I'm
a word
gonna
of that.
step away to grab a drink once I bring it up because Ryan's gonna just go nuts.
Oh, I'm
So everybody
curious.
needs to listen. Last of Us 2.
Oh.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Can you get me that? Can you get me a monster?
Yes,
So yeah, I mean,
And a
I-
large fry. That'd be great. Thank you.
Ryan's done talking.
I can kick it off a little bit. Hey, I thought I've done pretty good today, not
Hold
talking
on.
over
I
everybody.
need to talk to everyone else outside real quick.
Okay, so back to Death Stranding.
Everyone leaves. It's just him talking alone
To himself.
in his car.
I mean, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really know that there's a lot to talk about with Last of Us 2.
Well, no, I mean,
mean-
it just seems like a continuation, a new story.
I mean, we get Ellie as she's older, which is fantastic. She's the main playable character, which is super exciting to do. Joel is there in some aspect.
Some
We haven't
form?
even seen him in anything.
Wasn't he like we heard his voice in the trailer?
Well, in the first trailer that they revealed,
I
you
will not
saw his,
stoop to
you heard
any
his voice, and
sponsor.
he is alive. Like I'm pretty sure they
die right away.
Oh, he's definitely
I
gonna
actually
die.
think so. I 100% think so.
He's definitely gonna die in this
Not
game.
good.
Don't play this game if you're thinking he's not gonna
And if you
die.
have, I mean, play The Last of Us. If you are a big fan of cinematic experiences with video games, kind of like Man of Medan, no, but whatever, or Until Dawn, definitely Last of Us is up there. But I mean, my favorite thing that I've read so far about Last of Us 2, well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but the voice actor for Joel, Troy Baker, came out a couple weeks ago in an interview and basically said, "You're not ready." That's all he said about the game. Was like, "You're not ready for this, the way that it's gonna go." And I'm just really curious as to what that means, because The Last of Us was, as far as storytelling and gameplay, for me anyway, I thought it was damn near perfect. Like, it definitely has its flaws for sure, because it's not like the best video game ever, but
Joel's a bear.
Joel's a bear, and he's
He just
he's
punches
rough.
heads off.
Oh, I totally lost my train of thought there.
We're not
Bears?
ready.
Yeah,
We're not ready.
and well, yeah, because like when you go into a sequel for almost any video game, movie, book, all that, like
That's the
trying
truth.
to up yourselves from the original is a difficult thing to do, and
Oftentimes
Naughty
ends up
Dog
shooting
has
yourself
always
in the
done a
foot.
very good job at not trying to make the story, and I take this word from Matt, more grandiose.
I took a piss.
Congratulations,
But
man.
Yay!
They dive more into the
I
emotional
adulted
aspect
today.
of what these
They didn't
characters
have to
have
help
to
me
deal with,
Yay.
and I think that's what makes it even
I
better.
have eggs in
Because
my chest.
I don't think that like the characters of Joel and Ellie. I mean, God, you fall in love with them so quick, and I am
It's because
worried.
of my baby girl.
Ashley
Baby
Johnson.
girl.
I am very scared that
Hold on,
they
wait,
are
can
going
we
to
have
kill
a-
Joel off
We have
very
a quick
quickly.
moment for Ashley Johnson.
Absolutely.
Because like the
Ashley
first
Johnson.
rumors I think was from that first trailer where they're all like, that Joel that's talking there, that's just like her, like he's not there.
She's
He's-
haunted by his
He's
ass.
haunted.
She's being jokered by him.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm
Arkham
That
City.
was such
Arkham
a
Knight.
great
very
aspect to that
excited
game.
to see if the gameplay actually does play out like that E3 demo last year,
Mm.
because after that trailer came out and they showed it, all these other game developers were blasting Naughty Dog, saying like, "That's a cinematic. There's no way your gameplay looks that fluid." They were knocking it down, saying it's impossible
That was
for
the
it to
thing.
look that fluid.
There was no prompts for how these combat maneuvers were going on, which I can understand would be a
Oh,
red
yeah.
flag. Like, if you look, there's nothing. They added HUD
Yeah.
and HUD information, but there's no prompts for exactly how these perfect parries. Like, do you just push a button and watch a near cinematic fight go down
Right.
without any button prompts? Is that what they're doing? Because I'm fine with that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If you
No,
just push
I-
attack and watch how it plays out, because you're just like, hey.
I have
each
my
time.
doubts about that, like if that's actually what's gonna happen, but
I seriously doubt it.
I mean, if it comes out and looks that good, it's gonna be. I'm gonna hate it because all I want to do is watch it instead of play it.
Oh, yeah, do something.
Yeah.
Well, overall, I think I really hope that this game does really, really well, because Naughty Dog has always done just a great job with all of their IPs. And as much as I don't want Last of Us to reach a level of Uncharted and beyond, because it is just like, okay, your Uncharted's are still good, but come on. You are capable of a lot. You've proved it.
Yeah.
Between Uncharted and Last of Us, we know we have trust in you. Just, hey, go find something new.
Play. Do it.
They and they
They
especially
proved
with the-
horror in action. They proved comedy in action.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and they definitely proved it with the end of Uncharted 4 that they wrapped that story up.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. You could bring it back, but it doesn't need to be Nathan
Nope,
Drake
it
anymore.
doesn't
and
need to be.
They are smart enough with their storytelling that I don't think so. I feel like because originally when Last of Us first came out, they weren't gonna do a sequel. Like they were like Neil Druckmann, the director, was like, if I think of a story, we'll do it. But other than that, no, it's a standalone thing. And then, I mean, what were like 5-6 years since it came out? I can't remember. It was 2013. So it was about 6 years since that came out. If I'm right on that.
For sure.
So I mean,
Fact check.
That could have been him sitting there for working on Uncharted 4 as well, but then just going, hey, I got an idea and I know how to do it, and then they went. Then the producers went, oh, thank God.
Finally, you fucking asshole.
Like, if we don't make a Last of Us 2, and he's like, shut up.
Romeo's crying.
6 years ago.
But yeah, 6 years ago? Okay. And the rumor is right now is that it's coming out in February. That's what a lot of things are saying right now.
2039.
Yeah, 2039. No, that'll be Final Fantasy 7. That's never actually going to come out. Part 2.
Yeah, they're gonna start releasing it in 4 segments, so that's reminiscent of the actual game.
Absolutely.
That's
But
what they are
we
doing.
won't go into
They are?
that.
Yep.
I was joking.
No,
Yeah,
they
no,
are.
it's
I'm okay with that,
It's an episodic game. Yeah.
I was completely joking.
Yeah.
And each episode is gonna be $60.
Oh.
Yep, the first. Yeah, so back to what you were saying, you love. But the fact is also the way Matt put it earlier. I mean, at least they're claiming that the first game that you're getting on Final Fantasy is 2 Blu-ray discs, and it's gonna be a full fucking Final Fantasy game, 60+ hours.
If you can make each one of those
Midgar
4
alone, yeah,
sections
which is crazy,
a full game's worth of content, then I could see it maybe being
and
okay.
that's,
But
I
I
mean,
don't
obviously
know.
we won't know until it comes out, but that's
Right.
kind of my thing too. Where I'm like, don't get me wrong, I have no problem paying the $60, but you got to make my $60 worth it. If I get to play Final Fantasy VII for 100 hours in the first 10% of that fucking storyline, cool. Fuck it. As far as I'm concerned, it's not Final Fantasy VII Part 2 that would come out afterwards. It's like making a sequel. You wait maybe you wait a little bit for it. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
No, there shouldn't. In my opinion, there shouldn't be much more than like a half a year to a year between each one.
Yeah, and that's the scary part when it comes to it.
Look at how people burn through games.
Yeah. And they have not said anything as to how long it's going to take for the next one. But there's also the idea that they have all the models built and other aspects to it designed and created, so it should go smoother. However, I look back at James Cameron saying that about Avatar.
Right.
And that's been 10 years. Because he literally did say that. He said, no, making the sequel is going to go a lot smoother because we have everything built.
But first, I'm going to dive down to the Mariana
Other
Trench.
four
And I'm going to go swim in my money.
He's making 4 sequels.
Yeah, we're getting 4 Avatar
That's the only thing he's making for the rest of his life. He's like, I don't expect to be alive by the time they're done. It's like, wow, James.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cam.
Sure. If there's anything you don't understand, just say sure.
Jimbo.
So his brain jar controlling everything. Got it.
Disney style.
It's gonna be like Futurama.
Yeah.
Fuck
exactly.
yeah.
So it's just
Well,
gonna
you
be in a
didn't
jar.
believe enough in Alita to fund that, so.
That was a great movie.
I still got to see that. I want
I
to.
haven't watched it yet.
That looks fail.
Well,
I've heard nothing but
Matt,
good.
Did you have anything else?
Not really. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is a good one to bring up, but at the same time,
We don't need to go into too much about it. I feel,
I mean, there's so much up in the air. And everybody knows what is out there for it.
exactly. They even for Gamescom, they didn't release anything new. So,
So unless anybody else has any
yeah,
upcoming games,
open up the
that
floor.
they're,
What do you guys got?
I'm just really excited for Gridfall.
Doom Eternal.
I think we covered all of our favorite games.
I was gonna say, final thoughts are on the table.
upcoming favorite games?
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
If you haven't, if you
Cyberpunk.
are really
Yeah,
a big
looks
fan of
Haven't seen anything.
survival horror games, go out there and try
Crap Fight.
Sinking City, because Sinking City is a really great game, especially if you love the H.P. Lovecraft kind of mentality of horror. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and it's one of those few games where it's like I come home from work and I'm like, I am too tired to deal with something so stressful. The point where I haven't played it as much because I'm like, I'm not in the right mindset for this level of stress.
Didn't we talk about that last week? Where it's like, I love the idea of coming home and being like, all I want to do is play video games because that's my release.
But I don't want to play
But
that
I'm
game.
not playing a
This
fucking
one,
game.
no, this one, I gotta be in the
Christ.
right mindset for that shit, and I have not been for a while. But from what I played, I thoroughly enjoy it. Having such an open world aspect to this city, and the fact that every place is just so unique and interesting to look at. It's just gross. This whole city of people who are content with the idea that a flood turned their home into some now dried out underwater wasteland. It's like, it's creepy. And
there's a
everybody's just
giant-
perfectly content with the fact that there's monsters running around their town. They're like, yeah, we just don't go over there.
Just like the town in Stranger Things.
Kinda.
Nobody else cares but the cast.
Yeah.
Oh, that is one thing I'm actually excited for is the Demogorgon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that.
That's true.
Dying
The
Light.
So
DLC
excited.
for Dead by Daylight.
We will play the shit out of that.
Dead by Daylight.
horror game? Yep.
The company that makes Dead by Daylight is remarkably impressive, and what they have pulled off with that game is nothing short of just remarkable. and astounding because of the fact that they started this tiny little game up with their 4 little killers and their 6 little survivors.
Well, as funny as it is, I think when it first came out, it was just the Trapper and then 4 survivors.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was even like, oh god, I think it was barely even on Steam.
Yeah.
It was it was just like there, and the next thing you know, it's actually become something big.
We have gotten access to licenses that have never been brought together in a single source of media ever before.
So now we can have Ash run from the
Leatherface, Freddy,
Oh my god.
like Ghostface from Scream. You got the pig from
Saw.
Yeah. We
Which,
got Michael Myers.
So weird on that one.
Yeah.
But
Do we got a Pinhead yet?
Huh?
Do we got a Pinhead yet?
Nope, not yet.
shit.
There's next on your list.
Fuck yes.
They
Give it to
they
us.
just got the Demogorgon, their first non-human creature,
Their
and they had
first
to redo
non-human
all
killer.
of their.
All animation.
Yep.
This game's gonna. I mean, and that's an exciting part about it, that they redid the animation, like you were saying, is that now we're opening it up to more things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is games as a service, perfect. It's
Yep.
perfection.
This is
way
the
they do
reason
it.
why I brought up the whole idea of DLC making a game immortal, because this is it. This is the kind of situation. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a plainly multiplayer game, and the only thing they could do to change it up from here that would require making a whole brand new game is different game modes.
Yeah. But that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But in truth, I don't even care.
Right.
What would stop them from making like a they're coming out with a Demogorgon, why not a werewolf or
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
something like-
Absolutely.
Now that
At this
yeah,
point,
folklore,
and considering
you know?
what if like,
Edward Cullen.
if you go out and watch. If you go out and watch the
wanna hear that pig
release, video from the guys, the developers, and the way the Demogorgon moves, it looks like a gross, nasty, pedal-faced werewolf.
Fuck yeah.
It has a pounce attack. It can leave behind a back-and-forth portal that the
that leads to-
survivors can
yeah.
destroy.
I didn't even watch the clip. I just
Yeah,
saw it. and
you
went,
put one here, you put one here, you come to this one, you just dig through, and you pop out the other
Apparently, also, if a survivor moves close to it, as the Gordon, you'll be able to see them.
side within a certain radius, because the survivors can actually destroy the portal.
okay.
Plus, they'll be releasing two
Two
survivors from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nope, Nancy
Bob-
Wheeler and Steve
My boy
Harrington.
Steve,
it should have been Bob and
best
Barb.
mom in the series.
They thought about doing They thought about doing Barb and Hopper, but they're like, these are characters. Well, Barb's dead. So
Barb's
That
dead.
doesn't make a lot of sense. And Hopper is one of the few people where we could be like, no, he could win.
Yeah,
yeah, right?
He doesn't fit in as a survivor. He's a fighter.
Hopper's a big guy.
He was Hellboy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he's
So
like
Hopper-
6'6".
Oh my god,
sort of
where's
like
Hellboy in this game? I don't give a fuck if
They
he's
brought
a
in
good
Ash
one.
from Evil Dead.
He's
a survivor.
They even brought in a Bill from Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
one of the survivors from that game.
We could go on and on about this. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
this game impresses the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I thought that was really cool is like they had that developer video, which I know you and I've seen, and they're like, this is the first time we've had. First off, we released a monster killer, and second, this is the first time we've released 2 survivors with a killer. So it's like now we're just changing up the formula. So that only begs the question of what are they going to come up with next?
Yeah.
Have that be either they make up something or they get the license for something. Like how
Exactly.
fucking creepy would it be? It's
And
like,
that
oh
was
yeah,
the
by
thing.
the way, you get to play as a xenomorph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
approached Netflix and they're like, sure, why not?
Yeah, right?
They didn't even fight it. They're just like,
Absolutely.
The part that was great about it is like they were like we have this idea.
they gave
Perfect.
them the CG skin for the Demogorgon.
Yep.
To the point where we're like, wait, we don't have to render it? No.
Awesome.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
We have it. Why the fuck wouldn't we? We're not
That's-
going to use
that's
it again because
amazing.
it's from season 1.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Apparently, even like they gave them. I think it was either Netflix came up with a little bit of the idea for the new hook. How like there's actually looks like there's like things growing on it and there's rats lingering.
Well,
in the hook.
they gave them information from season 3 before season 3 hit.
Oh wow.
So the rats is one of those things where they're like, they mentioned the
Nice.
rats and they're like, we don't want to spoil anything, but we got this information about how important rats are
Yeah.
in season 3 early. So they changed that's the first time they've changed the way the hook looks.
Those
Aside from the event, right?
Yeah.
Holiday event, the Nectar event, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not-
before we keep going into it, I think we should wrap this up.
Yes.
We were going to do a little bit longer of a podcast the first time just because we haven't done it in a while. So
We've only got almost 2 hours.
yeah, almost 2 hours. So hopefully you bared with us, but probably not.
Are you kidding? I would have watched the whole fucking thing.
if you guys enjoyed this, please let us know in the comments if you guys have something you want us to talk about. If you enjoyed what we did, hit that like button, please.
Just tell us to
Skull fuck that like
Yeah, or you can just be like, your podcast sucked. Move on.
Move on, bud.
Because I'm the only one who reads it, so I'm just the one who gets to sit around and cry for 3 hours.
Yeah.
We hug you.
No, you don't.
No, we don't.
You hurt me.
We hug you with pain.
Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye. See you later. Bye.
Somebody stop the camera. Somebody stop the camera. They're still watching.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it back a bit.
Sucking my will.
Turn the light off.
Yeah.
Turn the light off.
Different game modes. Have it like a zombie or a vampire.
We're done with the podcast.
I know, but I have an idea, damn it. I want to talk about it.